So this is a part 2. We're back with the 8000 BTU EQK, and this is the capacitor on it. I have no idea how in the heck this happens, but it looks like it rusted through, and it was grounding out with the frame. Definitely going to keep this as a little memento. Put a different capacitor in there. I think I may have showed it in the last video that I pulled the capacitor, and it was a capacitor issue. I'm not sure. So we're going to see if this one works. We're going to plug it back into the kilowatt, fire it up, and see what happens. I just realized I forgot to attach that ground cable. Let's see what happens. And she runs. Hell yeah. I like that kind. We got a running 8000 BTU EQK with a recip. So, if this thing fits in the window, the upstairs, where the quasar is, this is going to be the new air conditioner for the attic. This thing probably uses way less energy. The fan looks very off balance, so I'll have to fix that. It's already blowing out ice cold though. That's warm. Doesn't shock me when I touch it. That's a good sign. Ooh, here. That scared me. It's cold. It could be colder. This might be a bit low on charge. Like, this doesn't feel ice cold, but the air coming out of here feels way colder than it would be from a fan. Yeah. I feel warmth coming out of here. I'm going to have to do a drain hole mod with this. I'm going to... That right there, that little thing there is where the water comes out. So I'm going to put a hole right underneath that, just like what I did on the other just like what I did on the Montgomery Ward. Yeah, we got frost right there. So, yeah, it's cooling. It's a triple row coil. It's an 8K. It's a big one. And man, I missed the sound of a recip. The recip on this thing, it has a much nicer sound than it does on my Crossley. It's actually just starting to rain, so hopefully I can get this thing unplugged and get everything cleaned out on this thing. I have the hose and stuff set up over there from when I was working on the Kenmore. We got a lot of rust and utter detritus in here. I'm not sure if we have a full charge on here, but we definitely have some sort of a charge. Yeah, very, very nasty. I feel heat coming out the back though. Honestly, expect the coil will be a lot more plugged up. That's not condensate, it's not been running for that long. I'll come back to this shortly. I'm going to give it a little break and I want to go check something else out. Now it's like just starting to lightly sprinkly outside, so I'm going to make my way inside. I don't want to be running an air conditioner with electricity going to it and it just starts to storm. So let's see. So 15 amps. Or is that 15 amp circuit that it's recommending that it's using? No, 11.5 amps. This is a lot more than that. And 11.3. Yeah, that seems to be on spec. How many watts? 1,250. And the breaker just tripped. I don't think it's using that much. Let me try plugging it into a different source and we'll see if this continues. So this time we're going to attempt to test the wattage. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with the air conditioner because the breaker I may have been using was a power strip. Now this will actually be using the breaker that's inside the house that runs the whole entire garage. I typically use that one just to see if anything goes wrong. And I don't really trust this unit, but I want to try it again, so we'll try this again. This time on low cool. The Westinghouse fan motor really does work though. And we are getting... oh, if it will... 1250, we're a bit over watt. 1288, 1287, 1289, 1290. It's rising. I don't know how I feel about that. It's definitely nice and frosty now this time. Air coming out of it feels nice and ice cold. And that recip's just humming away. Ooh. Really nice sound. Hope probably by the next time you see this, it'll be cleaned up and put back together, unless if it has another catastrophic failure. And it's starting to get dark outside. If I can find this light switch, if that helps. There's more lights over here. Don't want to run too much lights. 130, 12. Yeah, it's over watt by a good 50 watt. Volts is 115. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll check our amps again. Amps is 11.5. 11.49. So it's almost there. There it is. 0.51. So it's working. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is it's drawing a bit more watts than it should. I'm going to let this run for a while and see if it continues to run perfectly fine, or if it decides it would be a good idea to trip the breaker again. I don't really want this to trip the breaker, but we'll see. It's just starting to rain lightly. Did some other deeds while that was going on, so it's been about 5 minutes, and the EQK's running. Yeah, the Crosley's not on. This is on though. We're gonna head back in the garage though, because we might as well give a checkup on the EQK, because that's what this video is about. It's about the EQK, not a blurry camera or any of the other crap we've worked with. So, air comes out, is feeling cold. We got 11.7 amps, so it's now over a bit, but not bad. We'll check our watts again. 13.42. So our voltage is running a bit high today by a few volts today, so it should be around 120. It's about 122. So if that by any chance has an effect on the watts that this thing draws, let me know, because that could be. I'm not really too much of an electrical person. With something like this where the wiring on it seems very shoddy and it had some issues, I'm very weary with the wiring, and I just want to make sure all the current draw and stuff is fine. It is going a bit over. I also would like to get test that dehumidifier today, and that Carry Cool, as well as maybe that modern Frigidaire, and then the big Samsung, which I've been meaning to mess with all day. That was actually the thing I wanted to get done today, is get that Samsung cleaned up and working. And it's starting to rain somewhat, so that's very nice. I'm going to check to see if there's any tools out here, but it's blowing cold, so nothing to complain about there. It's this thing, I don't really care if it gets wet. I just cleaned it up, and it might have some more dust on it. Well, it just started to rain outside, so I was putting stuff away. The Emerson is running at 1349 watts. Still over what it's supposed to do. 1348. So it's a good 100 watts over what it should be. It's a good 100 watts over what it should be using. But it's really blowing out cold air, and the even more important thing, heat is blasting out the back of it. Like, a lot of heat. I'm like kind of sweating here. See how we're doing. The coil's probably nice and moist, and we have some condensate going on. Don't really feel anything, but keep in mind the back row of the coils gets what gets cold. Yeah, just starting to get a bit cold on the bottom. I can feel a bit, and I actually see condensate in there, so that's a good thing. And the wind's blowing my door all around, which is really nice. So it's doing pretty good. I might actually fire up the Montgomery Ward soon. I'm feeling a bit warm in here, so I've not gotten a chance to actually use the air conditioners down here yet. I've used the Frigidaire a few times because it was warm upstairs, but I don't think I'll be running around up there too much today, so we can actually use something else. Maybe I'll turn on the Frigidaire to G. But can't really run multiple air conditioners while I'm working on something else. It's really putting off a lot of heat though, so this one right here, this is a good air conditioner. It needs a lot of work though. It's really knackered. So and hopefully I can keep this one around for a while. I really like it. I have the front grill for it too in the other building. So yeah, I might go find that quickly, and because that needs cleaned up too. Well, here's the grill for the thing. I am going to assume they were running it without a filter. Actually, I think there was a filter in here, but it was like absolutely destroyed from foam. And it wasn't the original slide-out filter, I already kept the frame with the grill. But it was definitely something. Probably shouldn't leave the impact over where it can get somewhat warm. But Emerson runs. That's nice. We got condensate forming in the bottom. Now the inner coils here are actually starting to get cold. The thing's blowing out ice cubes. It's dumping out heat out the back. So we have a running air conditioner. That's real nice. So definitely make use of this one. So thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze. And might as well do a shut off. There it goes. Might as well fire up the wards. And the compressor didn't turn on, but it'll turn on later. Ow, and I just tripped on something. So thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze.